I'm gonna do a little story time on how this fucked up book helped me discover that I had spirits attached to me. So, I do not recommend this book. It is called Possessed by Ghosts: Exorcisms in the 21st Century. This author is an intuitive healer, but she believes that gay people aren't actually gay, they're just possessed by ghosts. She also talks about how most medical ailments and mental ailments aren't necessarily medical conditions, they are things that happen from being possessed by ghosts. So, fucked up book. However, it did get me help in a weird way. And I guess it could be an interesting read if you're able to take it with a grain of salt. Don't believe everything that she's saying, just, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So, during a session with Sarah Goff, who is my shamanic mentor and teacher, she recommended this book to me, and she did say when she recommended it that she doesn't stand by everything. My spiritual team just wanted me to read it, and she wasn't really sure why, but she did let me know about it. So I got the book, I started reading it, and I pretty quickly started to get triggered for said reasons. But I was reading it, and I finally got to a chapter that talked about how people that have spirits attached to them will often get triggered by like this information, and it's basically the spirits that are attached are now afraid that they're going to get evicted, basically. And I sat on this for a little bit, and I just tried to get to like an intuitive like conclusion on it. And eventually I went to Sarah and was like, hey, I think I got a spirit attached to me. She asked me a couple questions of why I thought I did. We set up an appointment, and she did a test, and she discovered that I did have a spirit attached to me, but not just one, I had two. So we worked together on getting rid of them, and collectively we realized that I've probably had them since I was a baby in the hospital, and my consciousness called out for help. They were around, they attached to me, and then they just never left. But she was able to get rid of them. And the interesting thing about that is during all of our other sessions, she never noticed that I had them. I didn't know that I had them. It wasn't until this dumb book that I realized that I might potentially have spirits attached to me. So when you hear people talk about all these stories of just like really awful things happening, yeah, that could be true, but I've also, in my experience, didn't even know they were there. Because honestly, like, I was tired before, but I'm always tired now. The only like real difference that I've noticed is my ability to speak better. And my throat kind of feels a little better because one was like wrapped pretty tightly around my neck. So I did see improvements with that, but in general, like, it wasn't like I had some like mood disorder or anything like that. Like, I don't feel like I had their habits, because that's something that people will talk about in other books, is like you pick up habits of the spirit that's attached to you. That's the reason why she thinks gay people aren't actually gay. Yeah. So anyways, you can read the book, or probably you shouldn't. But that's my little story of how I had spirits attached to me and how a really stupid book helped me discover that.